A long time ago in a theater far, far away, there was a film that changed all other films, a film that exploded in pop culture, a film that inspired filmmakers, a film called Star Wars.
But the problem is, other than my terrible green screen work, this movie happened long before I was even born. So I missed all the Star Wars madness. And Star Wars references are everywhere in TV shows, in movies, in memes, everywhere. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch every single Star Wars movie ever released for the first time. There are 11 films in total. The original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels and 2 spin-off films. I'm going to watch them in the order they are released, and after watching each film, I'm going to share my opinions, maybe rate them, and at the end, I will rank all the 11 films. Alright then, Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope is the first film I'm going to watch.
2 hours and 5 awesome minutes later.
It's good. It's really good. I can totally understand why people went crazy when it was first released in 1977. Most of the visuals look good even today. I mean, I can clearly tell that some of the creatures are CGI or some of them are miniature puppets, but still they are good. They didn't distract me from the film. The story and the characters were so well written. Luke, Han Solo, Leia, the 2 droids, they were all so likable and also unique. The action sequences were terrific, especially the last 15 minutes. Oh my god, that was intense. Some top class action filmmaking going on there. By the way, I don't think this is the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he'll be back soon. In fact, I thought he'll be back for the climax, but instead Han Solo came back to rescue. The film is also a little darker than I expected, destroying an entire planet, killing Luke's family, and we are clearly shown their burned dead bodies. I think the biggest strength of this film is the world building. The world building was excellent. I totally believe that such a world exists and the story is happening in that world. And also I like the scale of it, the epicness. It's like we have just witnessed a small portion of this epic story. Now I want to know more about this world, this story. I want to know what happens to these characters. Okay, before telling my rating, here's a small note. See? I don't believe in the rating system. Representing how good or how bad a film is just by a number, I don't think that's fair. You have to discover the true merit of a film by experiencing it yourself. So I'll be giving ratings here just for fun. So keep that in mind. Alright. So here's my rating. I'll be giving episode 4 Star Wars A New Hope 9 out of 10. I am so excited for the next film, The Empire Strikes Back.
2 hours and 7 minutes of even more awesomeness later.
Okay, I think I like this even more than the first one. To be honest, it took me some time to get into the first film, like around 20 to 30 minutes. The whole portion with the droids in the desert, I didn't like it that much. I found all of that a little boring. But this film, from the first scene itself, I'm hooked. Once again, they have done a great job with the characters. I like them all. Also, I like how they are combining practical effects and CGI. Yoda is just amazing. He looks fantastic and he is such an adorable character. And also this film is perfectly paced and beautifully filmed. I wasn't bored for even a single second. As expected, Obi-Wan is not permanently gone. I guess bringing him completely back wouldn't be fair, as then his death in the first film won't be that meaningful anymore. And the big reveal, Darth Vader is the father. Okay, I have something to confess. From all the memes and references in different films, somehow I got to know about that reveal, even before watching any of the Star Wars films. I know it is a little disappointing. It would have been awesome if I didn't know anything about the film and got to experience that twist organically for the first time. The scene where Luke actually confronts Darth Vader for the first time was so good. There was so much tension between these two characters. It's not just the action between them, but the dialogue between these action scenes that builds the tension. It was so good. And Darth Vader was a total badass in this film. The way he walks, the way he talks, he can fucking kill people without even touching them. The Empire Strikes Back gets a 9.5 out of 10. Also, I'm a little uncomfortable about the love triangle between Luke, Leia and Solo. I'm sure it is going to play a major role in the next film. Anyways, I'm so fucking excited for the next film.
127 minutes later.
Okay, I liked it. Maybe not as much as Empire Strikes Back, but still I liked it. There are a few things that troubled me, but let me first talk about things I liked. The whole father-son conflict between Vader and Luke is so well done. Every scene they are together, it is so intense. Not just when they are fighting, but also when they are just talking. It is so well handled. Basically, every scene with those two characters is just awesome. For me, the relationship is the best part of the film. The climax was awesome. The way they intercut three different sequences happening at three different places to increase the tension, that was cool. I can clearly see how many of the action sequences made today are influenced by Star Wars. Okay, now coming to things I didn't like in the film. That whole part in the woods with those small creatures. While it is entertaining and all, that whole section slows down the film. It didn't really work for me. Also, some of the green screen work was very obvious and it took me out of the film. And also, I don't get how the force works. Like, Luke is able to lift robots into air using the force. Then why can't he just untie himself using the same force? I thought that was a little odd. And by the way, Luke and Leia are siblings. So I guess that solves the whole love triangle thing. Those were the few things I didn't like about the film. But overall, I like the film a lot. It is an exciting and well-told story. And I will give this film an 8.5 out of 10. With this film ends the original Star Wars trilogy. Now I'll be watching the prequels. After watching that awesome trilogy, I was so excited for the next film. This one was okay, but nowhere as good as the first three films. The droid race sequence was awesome. I really liked it. For me, it was the best part of the film. And it better be awesome since they hyped it up so much in the film. But the entire middle portion of the film was so boring for me. We spent a lot of time developing Anakin's character in the first 40 minutes of the film. And now suddenly we are somewhere else with story going in a different direction. And Anakin is no more the central character of the film. And hence I no more cared about what's happening in the film and lost interest. And also what Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke, all those characters together brought to the film, that fun part was missing from the film. And what the fuck happened to Yoda? Why is he so boring and lifeless now? He was so fun in the first three films. But I do think it's cool that how this film and the first film has a similar storyline, with Anakin and Luke as central characters of the story, both father and son having a similar story arc. Overall, I think it's kinda okay-ish. Definitely not as good as I expected it to be. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the next film, Attack of the Clones.
After 142 minutes and some cringe-worthy moments later.
So here's the thing. It's entertaining and all, but nowhere as good as the first three films. As usual, the action is very well done. The film is very fast paced. My biggest problem with the film was Anakin's character. In the previous film, he was shown as a smart, brave and very talented kid. And now suddenly he is behaving like a dumb f***. He's sometimes very annoying, and if the most important character of the film is annoying, then how are we supposed to follow his journey? Also, sometimes he is straight out creepy, and the acting was also a little odd. It is a little disappointing that they took the most interesting character from the first three films and made him the most annoying character here. Seriously, I don't understand why would Natalie Portman's character like him. It's good that R2-D2 and C-3PO are back. At least they are entertaining, and I'll give this film a 7 out of 10. So now I'll be watching the last film in the prequel trilogy, The Revenge of the Sith.
146 minutes later.
Thank God that was good. Before watching the film, I was excited and also a little worried, since the last two films were not as good as I expected them to be. Like always, the action was superb. The opening sequence, the sequence where all the Jedis get killed, the climax where Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda and Palpatine, all four of them fight. All these action sequences were too good. The climax was so well done. Yoda was a total badass. The whole conflict, the transition from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader was also so well handled. All those scenes between Anakin and Palpatine were so intense. Except a very few things, the film was mostly good. This film had emotion at the center of it, just like the first three films. That's why those films work, and that's why this film works now. And my rating, I'll give this film an 8 out of 10. Alright, now I'm moving on to the sequel trilogy, starting with the first film, The Force Awakens.
2 hours 15 minutes later.
Okay, I didn't expect it to be good, and surprisingly, it is good. Rather than things just happening, this film has everything emotionally driven, which is exactly what the first three films did. It satisfies audiences with some old characters that we loved, at the same time, introduces some interesting new characters. The main villain, Kylo Ren, is Darth Vader's grandson and also Leia and Han Solo's son. So once again keeping up with that family theme of good guys turning bad. The scene where Han Solo dies in the hands of his own son was so well done. I thought Kylo Ren would kill himself, but instead when he kills Han Solo, it was so unexpected, powerful and shocking. I also think it's good that they didn't have Luke in this film. It would have been weird if every single character from the original trilogy appears just 5 minutes into this film. I am sure Luke will be playing a major role in the next two films. Overall, the film is very well done. The Force Awakens gets an 8 out of 10.
After 152, what the fuck's really happening? Minutes later.
I have a lot to say about this film. Some things were awesome and some other things were okayish. The visuals were phenomenal. For me, out of all the films I have seen till now, this is the best looking Star Wars film. The action was terrific. The action in this film always had an emotional undercurrent of conflict between the characters, and that made it a lot more interesting to watch. I think this is the film that deviates the most from previous Star Wars films in terms of structure. What I have observed is that almost all the Star Wars films are around 2 hours long and follow a similar story structure. But with this film, they have experimented a lot. A lot of things happened that I didn't expect to happen in a Star Wars film. I love when a film tries to surprise me, and most of the surprises in this film worked for me. Okay, now coming to things I didn't like in the film. That whole portion with the Codebreaker's character. I see how he played a part in moving the plot forward, but I don't think that is the most efficient way of doing it. The whole journey of his character is just weird for me. And also, the lady who was in charge of the rebellion after Leia was injured, she was portrayed as a villain, and I thought after a certain point in the film she will turn against the rebellion or something like that. But a few weird things happen, and suddenly now she is sacrificing herself for the rebellion. That was so awkward and made no sense for me. These two things seemed a little odd to me, but everything that came after these scenes were again fun and interesting. Luke was my favorite character in the movie, and that small cameo by Yoda was also cool. The film was certainly very entertaining. Not perfect, but entertaining. They tried something new and it worked for the most part. I will give this film a 7.75 out of 10. Okay, now moving to the final part of this epic. To be honest, I don't have big hopes. I just hope that they don't completely f up things. This is not how you end a 9 films long epic. Very disappointing. I had no expectations. I was waiting for these guys to f up, but still it was a little painful. Few parts were interesting, but for majority of the film, I didn't care what was happening. At no certain point, it felt like this film had a strong story to tell. Things just kept happening. Among all the Star Wars films I have watched till now, this must be the worst. I think Ben was the only character with a proper arc. The rest were just there. The first two trilogies had a trajectory and a proper story arc. Those films together told a bigger and more meaningful story that spanned through several generations. But with this trilogy, that didn't quite happen. I don't know why J.J. Abrams didn't direct the whole trilogy. He has done a good job with the first film. I will give this film a 5.5 out of 10. And also, I think for me, this film damaged the earlier two films in the trilogy. So now I will be watching the two Star Wars spin-off films, starting with Solo, a Star Wars story.
After 135 hopeful minutes later.
Finally, a film free from all the burdens of the previous films. People behind last three Star Wars films were good filmmakers, but still, they couldn't make good films. That is because there is so much pressure, so many expectations from these films. I think for some extent this film was free from all those expectations. This film was fun, entertaining. It's great to see the origin story of one of my favorite characters from the original series. I think the actor who played Han Solo did a great job. The film is definitely not a masterpiece. There is nothing mind-blowing or revolutionary about it. It's just fun and entertaining. All my depression from watching episode 9 is gone after watching this film. Solo will get a 7.5 out of 10. To be honest, I'm a little tired. Watching 10 films in the last 3 days is a little hectic, especially when the quality of the film keeps decreasing with each new film I watch. Anyways, I'm almost done. Now I'll be watching the final film, Rogue One.
After 134 really tired minutes later.
This was fun, just like Solo. Nothing amazing, nothing mind blowing. It was fun and simple. I liked all the callbacks to the original trilogy, especially the small cameo by R2D2 and C3PO. The two scenes with Darth Vader were my favorite. Vader was a total badass, and I like that they didn't overuse his character, like including him in some 10 scenes or something. And it was so obvious that two of the characters in the film were completely CGI. One was Princess Leia's cameo at the end of the film, and also that other guy whose name I don't remember now. And also I noticed something funny. The writers of the film had no option but to kill every single leading character of the film so that they can keep up with the continuity of the Star Wars universe. If any one of the characters survived from this film, they had to be in Star Wars New Hope, right? That's it. It was fun, not bad. I will give Rogue One 7 out of 10. Oof. Finally done. As I said, watching 11 films in just 3.5 days is a little mad. So after watching all the 11 Star Wars films, here are my rankings and few thoughts about these films. With a ranking of 9.5 out of 10, Episode 5 Empire Strikes Back is my top ranking Star Wars film, followed by Episode 4 A New Hope at the second place. For me, these two are some of the best action films ever made. I can clearly see how some of the action films I love are inspired from these two films. Episode 6 Return of the Jedi is at 3rd position. Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is at 4th position. Episode 7 The Force Awakens is at 5th position. These three films are not perfect. They do have some minor flaws, but still they are fun and enjoyable. Episode 8 The Last Jedi is at 6th position. Solo, a Star Wars story, is at 7th. Episode 1 The Phantom Menace is at 8th. Rogue One at 9th. Episode 2 Attack of the Clones at 10th, and Episode 9 Rise of the Skywalker is at 11th. These films are not great. Some of them are watchable, but some of them shouldn't exist. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly did enjoy experiencing Star Wars for the first time. Do comment down below what you think of it, and do check out my other videos. Peace out.